Hi, my name is Peter Lane, and I'm the Director of Development for the Delta Chi Educational Foundation, and I'm joined today by my friend Spence Price of the Embry Riddle Chapter 1971. Spence is a new founder for the Delta Chi Educational Foundation, has given over $100,000 lifetime through the Delta Chi Educational Foundation. Thank you so very much for that generous support.
Money well spent.
Well, wonderful. We're going to get to that in just a minute here. Want to start out and tell people a little bit about yourself and your Delta Chi story. Tell me about joining Delta Chi at Embry Riddle and what was that like?
In the late 60s, I go way back, I joined a local fraternity in Daytona Beach at Embry Riddle. We were then approached by a group from University of Florida, Delta Chi at University of Florida, and asked about the possibility of joining the national fraternity. So we as a local chapter voted and decided to go that direction, and we started, of course, as a colony under University of Florida. And then in, I want to say 1970, we actually moved to a chapter. I was the first A of the chapter at Embry Riddle, and took it through until I graduated in 71, and then stayed on just as an advisor for a short while before going out and going to work. So.
Wonderful. Now you joined the local group. Was that something that you were looking for, or was it just like who got you involved in it? Did that person go with you all the way through Delta Chi?
Actually, I was very socially inept, so the fraternity was kind of a way of bringing me out and getting to meet people, and the Brotherhood from Pi Sigma Phi, which was the local, started me on it, and we as a group, of course, converted to Delta Chi.
Okay, wonderful. That's interesting to hear that you say that you were not the social icon that you are today, because you went on and had a huge career in sales, where you had to be very social and outgoing.
Well, and of course, in addition to kind of bringing me out of the shadows, Delta Chi also taught me as an A to handle people who were volunteers. And believe it or not, that has served me very well in almost 50 years of being employed, is dealing with people that really don't have to listen to you.
Yeah.
And how to persuade them to do what you need them to do.
Absolutely. Well, that's a wonderful skill to pick up. So now, what kept you involved in Delta Chi after you graduated? And you were, I think you went right to work in the auto industry.
Yeah.
And you've been all over the region. But what's kept you involved specifically with your chapter?
Yeah. I did not have an involvement initially after coming out of school. I had started a family, and I had moved to Pennsylvania. And for a number of years, I didn't, have really any type of active participation in the fraternity. But, it's kind of like that Maslow theory of hierarchy. When you come out, you're basically just trying to eat.
Yeah.
And as you progress, you then get to the upper point of the pyramid, and you look to give back. I'm kind of paying back for what I received. So I started with Delta Chi of Embry Riddle in working with the chapter, and then when we were trying to get the new house for the local chapter, I got more involved on the financial as well as the legwork. I mean, the chapter worked through, I want to say, either 4 or 5 school administrations.
Wow.
And every time you got a new school administration, you start all over again,
Sure,
unfortunately.
yeah.
So we worked through there. We became the first fraternity to have a fraternity house on campus, on the Embry Riddle campus.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Very first one. And they have a plot of land that we're on that they've got it set up for 3 or 4 additional houses. So right now we kind of have a lot of room.
That's great.
Which is great, yeah.
That's great. Well, and that it's a beautiful facility. So if any of you are watching this, you definitely need to go down to Daytona Beach at Embry Riddle's campus and swing by the Delta Chi House. It is a gorgeous state-of-the-art facility. and you all should be very, very proud of that. Now, you've given time, your talent, your treasure significantly in all of those capacities. You're the treasurer right now for the House Corporation, so you're still stayed in touch on a very local level, but you've also been one of the biggest donors that we've had in our organization for the A's Academy. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. And that's our premier leadership academy for the presidents.
Money well spent.
Now, talk a little bit about that, because I want to bring this out of the chapter level a little bit. Why have you decided to invest at that level to help the whole organization?
Pretty simple. Everybody needs mentoring. A's Academy is a form of mentoring. Without it, and we found this out at Embry Riddle time and time again, a lot of these gentlemen don't know what to do. They would be happy to do it. They just have never been taught. Right. A's Academy is teaching. If you take somebody who's properly motivated and properly guided, and then give them the knowledge, they're a superstar.
Wonderful. Well, that's very succinct. Well, Spence, listen, what are some things that you are excited about with Delta Chi going forward the next few years here?
I think, there are lots of bumps in the road when it comes to the Greek life. We run into them on a local level in Daytona Beach, as well as on a national level. So the actual fraternity or Greek life portion of college has to be maintained, in my opinion, because for a lot of the students, this is their first time away from home. They're away from their friends. They need to make new friends, and that's where, obviously, the fraternity will expedite that, like it did with me.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking some time to sit down and talk with us and tell us your story. Is there anything you would like to add in closing?
No, I just have to tell all the other alumni that once you get to that position where you can donate back for what you've received, please do it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for coming in today, and I appreciate everything you've done to help our organization.